I like
And
pizza.
you are a queen, Quill. And so we have RBroussard next with two pieces, the Blob and Electric Fan.
Woo! Rick's my friend. He's cool.
Rick is Queen Quill's friend, so be nice to him. Everyone behave.
Yes.
I like him too.
Hey, we got two vouchers.
Let's give him a hard time.
You don't have to behave. In fact, I was hoping you wouldn't. In fact, I have a question. How many of you have ever written a poem? Raise your hands. Good. How many of you remember the first poem you ever wrote?
I still have it.
No, that was a 0.
Oh, okay. And how many of you could recite it from memory?
You asked
My daughter, by the way. So I just want to point out my genetic superiority.
You're in the right crowd to try and do that.
Because I'm going to recite to you my very first poem. The very first poem I ever wrote from memory. And it, like so many of the other poems, it is a love poem titled The Blob. And you have to, a little preface, you have to understand that when I was young, I was very absorbed in monster magazines. And there used to be great monster magazines. They're crap now. You know, they're all about movies. They used to be a real monster. It's not about these fake Freddy Krueger, you know, whatever they are, monsters. So anyway, monster magazines. And one of the great monster stories of all time, for which, by the way, there was a New Hampshire connection, was The Blob. The woman whose scream was used in The Blob grew up in Keene, New Hampshire.
Nice. Now that's the kind of trivia we like.
Yeah.
That
It is a very famous scream. In fact, it was used many, many times. She's a very famous screamer. But as I said, this is not about horror. This is a love poem, all right? The poem goes, a blob lives in my backyard fair while tsetse flies, thank you, buzz here and there. They light upon its bulbous form, thinking it will do no harm, when all at once they are absorbed. They buzz no more. Now ain't that morbid? I wrote that. Now, my second poem, I wrote many years later when I grew a little more intellectual and pretentious. And it's titled Electric Fan. And the preface to this is you have to understand that in the South, where I grew up, the electric fan is the equivalent of the wood stove to you woodsy country people.
We're all Southerners too.
Oh, okay, right. So you know what an electric fan is.
Oh, yeah.
It is a source of great, it's essential. And so this also, by the way, is a love poem. And it involves, as you know, slam poetry does, a little gesturing, a little movement. So you sort of follow me, okay? In the silent, remember it's pretentious also. In the silent whoosh of night and calm, with shoes just off, electric fan whispers wisely window words, from face to feet and back again, from nose to toes and all between. How far from me the crux of man, how trivial it all can seem, with shoes just off, electric fan.
I feel like I shouldn't have. That was very funny.
Thank you.